Hi, how are you guys feeling? It's already been 3-4 days already since we started NFT.NYC. I can't believe it's almost about to be over. But anyways, let's start our session. Yeah, just to introduce myself, I'm the CMO of CC0. If you want to follow us more closely, you can always follow us on socials and see what we are doing. How many of you know what CC0 is or like curious to know today? Yes, right. Perfect. Okay, so just to start out with the definition of a CC0, CC0 is a Creative Commons Zero. So what is that? Basically, for any art or any content, you'll see that it's copyrighted. It's copyright reserved. But CC0, actually, there's no copyrights. So what does that mean? It means the art or the content or whatever is produced is free for the public to use. So it's for you. Not just for the artist, but for whoever is consuming that content. A very good example of a CC0, like 3 projects that just come up from my mind is, first one is called Crypto Toads. I'm sure you've heard about that project. If you go to their like OpenSea profile page, you'll find that it reads like, the crypto toads are in the public domain. You can use the crypto toads to whatever you want to, create. So that's a very good example of a CC0. Another example would be Noun DAO. Now basically the art is for everyone to use. You can create a secondary art out of Now without having to ask anyone permission basically. Another good example would be Moonbird. I'm sure you've heard about that project as well. Kevin, the CEO of Proof, he just declared and said, like, we're gonna change this to CC0, right? For that, his reasoning behind it was to respect and honor the internet, the spirit of the internet and like Web3. So he thought it was like perfect for Moonbirds to switch to a CC0. But then the thing is, we have to kind of like think about some questions before we create a CC0 or we want to change the project into a CC0. And the reason why is like CC0 sounds like fabulous, right? Why not make the art free for all and just use it for give it to the public for them to use freely? Well, there's many questions that you have to kind of go through before making it because of some of the ripple effects. First is, what is fair? I mean, I buy NFTs myself. I hold plenty of them. But what if I bought an NFT and I can't really own the art associated with the PFP? I mean, for you too, like, do you know what you can do with your NFTs? Like, if you can create merch out of your NFT PFP, or you can create, open up a shop with its logos and everything. Like, not a lot of people who hold NFTs know whether they can use IPs, they can use the art for their PFPs. So that's very interesting. And then for CC0, it's very fair, like, to say the least. Like, you own the entire art, or you can use the commercial IPs behind the NFTs that you purchase. The second question you should be weighing on is whether it is beneficial for any community. Because, okay, now we have the slides, so I'm just gonna, this is the questions that I was meaning to show you. So what is beneficial to the community? For instance, when, for instance, Moonbird was switched to CC0, the community wasn't actually very happy. They weren't ready for this decision. And the reason why is like, it's such a big shift, right? At least you need to have a strong community or like a DAO in place for the NFTs to be a CC0. So without like a strong community to fall back on, it could lead, or it kind of like mislead the community into thinking that, the project founders or the founding team is being irresponsible per se. So like, you have to see if like the community is happy about this decision. And the reason why is because CC0 is kind of like public good. And I'm sure you've heard about the public goods dilemma. Basically, everybody owns that good, but then nobody is responsible for it, right? So then what does that mean? It means like, as the examples that I've given to you, like there's no purpose, there's no clear direction, there's no guidance, there's no like project, like you don't know where the project is trying to go, right? And nobody is taking responsibility for that. So it's just throwing the project into like a public goods dilemma situation. So it's very important to kind of take that into account. And then the last question that we want to answer or kind of think about is what is meaningful? I think that the very biggest difference between a Web2 community or like the consumers and the Web3 community is the fact that the consumers or the community members, they're not there so that you can extract value, extract time and money out of them. Web3, the community are the builders, they are the stakeholders. They get a big say in how you want to run a project and like how you want to build a project. So I think that essentially that Web3 community are your marketers in a sense, right? If you make a project into a CC0, they will wear it. They will create merch out of it, you know? They paint it on their shoes and they just walk around and do the entire marketing without even getting paid, right? So just think of it as like an artist or like a project founder. What is really fair for the community? What's going to be beneficial for the entire community? And then what is going to be meaningful? And while I was gonna talk about what is fair, I saw a lot of like artists when they mint or in their profile pages, they say like, it's open for everyone to mint, trade, sell, but you don't get to own the art. And for me, that doesn't give a whole lot of value to owning that NFTs, right? So just bear this in mind, like these questions in mind when you're trying to create a CC0 or transfer into a CC0. Okay, I think I have like 20 seconds left, so I'm just gonna introduce to you the builders in the space. Bits is also a space that I host every Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Daytime, and I just create the spaces to uplift and support genuine builders in the space, like artists, project founders, project teams. I had Froggy Friends, Pudgy Penguins founder in my spaces. So come over and hopefully I'll get to see you guys, and follow me on Twitter at Sook Hwang ETH. Thank you so much.